But sticking on the themes of things that we love, not the things we hate,
That's right.
is just about everything that Matt Reeves says about this movie coming out just raises my hype levels up to like no end.
Yeah.
He's had like every right thing to say because he's been doing like a full court press interviews for Total Film, and all kinds of different outlets
Yeah.
are doing features on the Batman right now. And Batman on Film is doing a great job covering them. I don't know if everyone visit batmanonfilm.com to get all your Batman stuff because Bill is killing it over there.
Yeah.
But every time he puts up an article focusing on the latest batch of quotes from Reeves, I just sit there reading going, yes, 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 you're making the exact Batman movie that I've been waiting years to see.
Like, stop
Because the funny
making
thing,
so much sense.
yeah, like stop this. Because I remember even like years ago, I remember when I was writing at Latino Review, we were doing who we would want to direct Batman. And I said, I want like a David Fincher Batman movie. I'd love a Batman that's like Seven, a Batman that's, this deep, gritty detective noir thing. And that's the movie we're getting. That's what Matt Reeves is giving us. And like, I don't know, do you know this about me? That I have an obsession with serial killers and true crime and all that stuff?
I don't know if I did know that about
Oh,
you, which
well,
is
now
kind of
you
weird.
do. I have a huge obsession with serial killers and true crime. And, like, I read up on them. I listen to podcasts about them all week long. I'm obsessed. So when Reeves went into more detail about his decision to base the Riddler loosely on Zodiac, that got my attention. And I want to share these quotes because it's all just right up my alley once again. And for anyone else who's into this stuff, this is going to be a pretty special movie, folks. But here's what he said early on. This idea of doing a serial killer story popped into my head, and I started thinking about superheroes. The idea of wearing costumes. I read Mindhunter. It made me think of the Zodiac killer and how he actually wore this primitive costume that really is a primitive superhero costume, a rogues gallery costume. And I was like, oh, that's really scary. The idea of people really wearing masks and withholding their identities and terrorizing people and how scary that is. I mean, that right there, like that just tells you like Riddler's not going to, it's not Jim Carrey's Riddler, folks. This is not going to be just some like, I'm a villain with a one directional, with a one dimensional, plot. And, like, this is going to be creepy under your skin sort of stuff. And then he keeps going. He goes, not just a serial killer. He definitely has a political agenda. There's a terrorist aspect to him. He's indicting the city for what it is. And one of the things he's doing with each of these crimes is he's attacking the so-called legitimate pillars of the city. The whole point of it was to put Batman on the path of trying to solve a mystery that was not only going to reveal the history of the city and why it's so corrupt, but that also is going to turn at a point and become actually quite personal. Like hearing that, I'm like, I need this movie
Yeah.
in my veins now. Does any of that do anything for you, Brett?
It does a lot for me, and like you were mentioning that aspect, and they kind of hinted at it if you've been keeping up with the trailers. Maybe you haven't been because you've been trying to keep radio silent on it.
Yeah.
But there are some lines in there, I assume from Paul Dano's Riddler, that are saying that Bruce has something to do with this, that he has to pay for like the sins of his family and stuff. So I'm a pretty big fan of the Earth One, Batman Earth One
Yeah.
comics. And I can't remember which volume. I have all three, but I've actually only read volume one and two. But you could tell if you read that they are taking quite a bit of inspiration for the Riddler from Batman Earth One, and from Batman. You can
Yeah.
tell just how he's a little more reckless, a little more kind of has a little bit of a death wish,
Yeah.
maybe a little sloppy at points, and it is a very much a detective story. The Riddler's perfect for that. But one of the little revelations in that is that Thomas Wayne and Martha Wayne always depicted as these amazing, charitable figures that, obviously, good parents and donate to the city. And they allude in the recent trailer too that his parents were very charitable,
Yeah.
and he's kind of a recluse. Bruce hasn't really been doing that.
Yeah.
But anyway, the big revelation is that Thomas Wayne might not have been as squeaky clean as he's always depicted. In Earth One, they do reveal that he did have some ties to, I think it was actually Carmine Falcone, or at least like some mobsters in Gotham. So that could be part of the revelation, is that, you know, as good as Thomas Wayne was, maybe some of that money wasn't clean, maybe some of it was blood money, and it really. You know, we always talk about Batman and Bruce Wayne as this dichotomy, these two different people, and it almost gives, rather than just Batman a villain, it gives Bruce Wayne a villain, and it gives Bruce Wayne a motivation maybe to stop being a recluse, to come back out, start trying to take over and learn how to protect his city as Bruce Wayne as well. And it becomes almost like a redemption arc for his family, rather than just, let me just keep the goodwill of my family going, but no, I have to save my name. And that's just a deeper story. It's just more personal.
I mean,
that's where it seems like where it's going.
Yeah.
So it seems pretty cool. I hope that is kind of what shakes out.
I mean, imagine the conflict, the crisis of character he'll have when he realizes, wait a minute, my family is perhaps responsible for some of this criminal element that I'm out here beating up every night.
He says something in the trailer to Alfred, I think, too, where he says, like, you lied to me. I think there's like a line in one of the trailers, like a little quick cut, and he says, "You lied to me, Alfred." And I think that might be where it's going, and that's really intriguing to me. And with someone like Matt Reeves and with Robert Pattinson at the helm, playing Batman, I think that's going to be something. Well,
and there's a couple of variations. There's a couple of versions I've seen that play with Thomas Wayne being a little on the underworld side. If I'm not mistaken, The Long Halloween positioned him as a mob doctor, like one of those doctors who, like, if the mob didn't want to bring someone to the hospital because there was a crime, he'll patch them up at Wayne Manor, and he's doing like under the table work with the Falcones. I'm pretty sure I saw that in The Long Halloween.
You're correct about that.
And then, and even, did you ever play the Telltale Batman game?
I tried, but it was like really buggy and glitchy, and
first of all, it's really good. And second of all, it also plays with that idea of Thomas Wayne not being this lily white figure. And actually it recontextualizes the murder of Thomas and Martha as a mob hit for something gone wrong, that like Falcone sent Joe Chill to deal with them over a crime dealing or something that went wrong.
That's very cool.
So I'm with you on, it's going to be interesting to see that play out on the big screen, because we haven't seen that yet. So far, the Thomas Wayne situations that we've seen are both parents are these heroic martyr type figures for young Bruce, and without them, he's this lost creature, so to speak. But this time we're going to find out perhaps that the Waynes, have somehow contributed to the endless corruption of Gotham. So I can't wait to see how, Batman deals with that knowledge.
Yeah.
And there's just so many psychological layers, and we're going to be talking lots of Batman in the next month. So in the lead up to its release. So for now, we're going to move on from there. We're a month away. There's a lot to say.